Some Birmingham fans were saying after the Oxford results, did we just clone Jude? What a performance in that midfield by Jhon Solis, or should we call him Jhon Solid, as many social media fans are taking to. We've got Jason back with us, fresh back from Oxford away. Another 3 points on the road. Jason, was that the best away performance or the most complete performance of the year so far?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. Not that we're comparing it too much, but no, it was a very typical away performance and what you need to do in this league to win away. So yeah, it was very, very good, and it was very, very nice to see and watch.
Yeah, an unbeaten Oxford side under a new manager, of course, as well. So, yeah, feather in the cap for that one. Coming up this week, then, we are, of course, talking about two players in particular this week. Osman, who Jason called out last week, shouldn't have been substituted last week and got harangued in the comments, Jason, for that. So I'm sure you want to have Paik back this week. And also we're talking about just how impressive Jhon Solis is. Welcome back. We're also talking about the worst ever Birmingham City manager towards the end of the video. Who is the worst, not in terms of results, but the most boring style of football you've ever had to sit through. Jason's got a lot to say on that, so wait for that as well. On up to letter N for A to Z as well. Who's the best Birmingham City player or manager that you've seen with the surname beginning with N? Right, Jason, let's jump into this one, shall we then? Let's take some social media comments. Ben says, another Jhon Solid masterclass today. We need to sign him permanently from what I've seen so far. Much he says he's a proper player. He's exactly what we need in the middle. And question to you on this one, Paik plays so much better with him here. Do you agree on that last point?
Yeah. For me, Tommy Doyle and Paik are too similar. So Jhon Solis just seems to give, and I think it was the same for Doyle if he plays. It just gives them license to go and play their game a lot more. I think he's definitely more defensive minded. I think it's a bit more similar to what we had from Iwata last season, just a bit more physicality from Jhon Solis, and it looks like he can just run forever. So yeah, 100%. And I sort of feel for Tommy Doyle at the moment. So yeah.
Would you? I mean, that's the combination we talked about last week of dropping that partnership, didn't we? Would you have done that this week, or would you perhaps just kept it going?
Away from home, I think it's 100% the right call. I think you can maybe get away with not playing him at home, but to be honest, after that performance, I should probably just shut up from what I said last week. He needs to be playing after that performance.
Yeah, absolutely solid. And is he the sort of player you've been looking for maybe all year? Maybe what you've been missing? Just that no nonsense, just commanding presence.
Oh, 100%. And I think that's the word. He's a presence. Like he's a big unit of a bloke, and you just know he's there, and it just gives you so much more confidence having him in the middle of the park, knowing that he's not going to let people take the ball off him as easy, and he's going to be able to win it back because he's just a unit of a bloke, and he looks quite tidy on the ball as well. There was a few worries, especially for me. I'm reading from Girona fans that he wasn't going to be the tidiest of players, but I guess I should have took it with a pinch of salt because he's coming from the league where it is very tidy football. But no, he's looked absolutely brilliant. So, and I sort of agree with what some of people are saying now that just sign him at this rate already.
Yeah, on the back of short a couple of games. But just before we go on to another player, let's talk about Paik though, because 100 appearances. Stelly talks says he's an absolute Rolls Royce of a player. We can often only appreciate him when he has the right players around him. Yeah, keep right on, Paik. Yeah. What's your opinions of him?
I think he's an absolute quality player. I think he's been harshly treated this season. He's probably not been the Paik that we know he can be, but to be fair, a lot of them haven't been fantastic all year round this season. But yeah, I think we've got a real quality player there, and I think there's a reason why people were sniffing around him when we went down, and the fact that we managed to keep him in League One, by the way, is an absolute joke. And he's such an honest, hard-working player. You just know what you get from him every game, even if he has an off game. To be fair, you just know he's going to work his absolute socks off, and I think he'll be one of them when Paik and his time inevitably comes to an end with the club, whenever that is. He'll be dearly missed. So yeah, cracking player.
Boom. Before we move on and talk about Osman, do drop us a sub if you're new to the channel. We know there's longer and probably better podcasts to listen to, but our format is short format, 20 minutes, going through all social media takes, firing them at Jason and Paul and others throughout the season and getting their reaction to it. Ready for another one, Jason?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Andy says, Ibrahim Osman, he's quick, but he needs a little more quality in the final third. I'm not sure how he never got onto Stansfield's cross. But I'm going to put that down to good defending. Another one on Osman here. Osman is the real deal. He's a solid performance. Same for Solis. He made a huge calming difference at CDM. I can't wait to see Osman, Vicente, and Prisk all start together. Yeah. Last week you said it was a mistake to take him off, and got harangued in the comments saying, "Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, mate." You were right, weren't you?
Yeah, it was, and he's put another good performance in today. For me, I think we need to take it with a pinch of salt. If he was the finished article, Brighton wouldn't be loaning him out. So his final third and stuff like that, his last ball or stuff like that might not be amazing. But for me, he's got pace. He can beat a man. And at some point within a game, it'll click. One of them balls will click. And I just, until Damari Gray's back, for me, he's one of the first names on the team sheet. I've been very, very impressed with him. Both games he's played, I've been very impressed with him. And I can see why Brighton paid 16 million for him.
Is that poster right about needs a touch more quality in the final third? Maybe some choices or wrong?
I think that would just come with his game. Like he's still only he's a young lad. That will come with time. Like I've just if he was the finished quality article and his last ball was perfect, Brighton would be playing him in the Premier League. There's a reason he's on loan at the Championship, and for me, like just give him a bit of a break. Just maybe it's not going to be perfect every time, but for where we are right now and what we've got, I think he's fantastic. Until Damari Gray's back, I think he'll be fantastic.
Okay. We'll talk about
as well. When Damari Gray is back, imagine having that pace coming on for the last 20 minutes of Osman. That's frightening. I'm very happy that we've got him. I think he's a real player.
Yeah. Lots of negativity's gone over Birmingham City last month or so, Jason. Do you feel that around the stadium and on the ground that people are starting to realise actually maybe some of these players were brought in and the team are gelling a little bit more?
Yeah, a lot. Some of the negativity's gone. I think there's still little drips and drabs there. The Chris Davis out brigade are fully gone. People that can't stand him with, they've been very, very quiet. I still think there's a little bit of there because it's still not 100% perfect. But I think again that's just the expectations we've got as a club at the moment. Probably wrongly so. But yeah, it's amazing what happens when you go a couple of games unbeaten and you start winning away. Football fans aren't too hard to please, are we? But no, it's definitely picking up. It's definitely picking up. It's not 100% there for me from what I see from some fans, but it's definitely getting there. And that away win will help a ton.
Okay, we did get some negativity about Prisk, which we'll come on to in a second. 3 home games to come though. Got Leicester, West Brom, and Leeds to come in the next 7 or so days. If I said you could win one, draw one, and lose one, give me the order that you would take those in.
I'd lose to Leeds. I'd like to see us batter Baggies, and then I'd take the draw against Leicester.
I thought you might go that way around. Yeah. 5 points away from 6th place. Does that excite you a little bit?
We just got to keep doing what we do, haven't we? Like the Championship is so open this year. Like I don't even think it's like out of the realms of possibility of Coventry look like they're on bottle here. I don't think it's like you only need to win 3 or 4 games in a row and you've skyrocketed. It's a crazy league this season, crazy season. We just got to keep doing what we do. Hopefully we sneak in. If not, we know where we failed this season. We go again.
1 week I'm going to ask you that, and you're going to jump out your seat and go, "Yes, we're going to be there." It's not out of realms of possibility of Birmingham Wrexham playoff final, is it? I know the media would love that, and it would just be like, the most watched ever game in America.
I just want to be careful because I said we were finishing second at the start of the season, so I can't jump the gun too much now.
Okay. All right, let's not get too carried away there. Should we talk about Prisk a little bit then? Some criticisms coming in for him. I don't know what you think to these two. This comment here, Nemesis says Solis looks solid. Osman was outstanding today. Prisk doesn't look fully match fit, but he will be great. A couple of other fans saying that as well. We just look up to speed with the. Vicente is a handful, an unpopular opinion, but I think we also looked a lot better when Stano and Roberts went off. Great win. On to the next game. Keep right on. We'll come back to that Stano and Roberts comment in a minute. What about Prisk though? Has Poster got a point or not?
Maybe, but the Swedish league finished in like start of December. He's gone like a month and a bit with no football, and then he's come into a new league as a 21-year-old. Just give him a bit of time to adjust. And I screamed that when we first signed him. Just give him some time. I think if you've got Marvin Dutch and people like scoring, it just gives him that bit of breathing time. Just let the lad settle in. It's a big old move for him. Like he's probably going to be bang average for the rest of the season because he's got to settle, and then he goes next season. Just I'm not too much of a fan of that. Just give him time to settle.
What about this Stansfield Roberts idea then? You look better when they went off.
I mean, game by game, that could be a different game, and they're both on fire. The only thing I would say, and Stansfield for me doesn't look fit. I think he could do with potentially a run of games on the bench. I don't think he's been particularly amazing since Norwich, but he's a Chris Davies favourite, so he's going to play. He's the poster boy, so he's going to play regardless whether he's on bang on form or not. So yeah, whether we look better or not, that's the whole point of us having a squad now, I guess. If they're not playing amazing, we get them off, get these new players on. It's a hard one to call because they've played a lot of football, the pair of them, without any real quality coming on off the bench.
But it looks as if you've sorted out this away day hoodoo, which we've spoken about so many times this season. Good to see that back. Of course, your next away trip is to Norwich in in 3 weeks' time, and then away to Millwall as well. So I think probably by the end of the month, Jason, we'll know a lot more, won't we, about just whether you have sorted this away day issues out. February, though, is upon us. That means, Jason, it's time to look back at January and pick, if you can, a player of the month for us, please.
Do you know, I would hope a lot of Blues fans would probably agree with me. As frustrating as he is, it's probably Marvin Dutch.
Really? Wow.
He's come up with the goals when we've needed them, and it could be frustrating for 60 minutes, but he shows that quality and gets us the goal and gets us over the line. So it's probably Marvin Dutch.
Okay, right. Let us know in the comments, please, if you disagree with that, like you do regularly. And thank you for the great community that we've been building last couple of weeks. You all agreeing, disagreeing with Jason's comments last week on the best manager. Now, what about the worst manager, Jason? We're up to this point now. In terms of the bad football, I mean, you've had a few managers, haven't you? But they've all tried to play the Birmingham City way, I think. But who's been the worst for you in terms of the style of play that you've just not been entertained by?
I mean, you might have some people say Chris Davies at times this season. For me, obviously, my time supporting Blues, the two standouts for me are either Steve Cottrell or Artur Karanka. For some reason, Karanka lives more in my memory, but Steve Cottrell as a bloke was just awful. But Karanka and for me and his football, I don't think anyone ever understood what we were doing, and he just never looked particularly bothered as well. So for me, Karanka, but I think a lot of Blues fans would probably argue and say Steve Cottrell.
Okay, let's hope no one in the comments says the current manager. But yeah, Middlesbrough fans put Karanka as one of their top managers last week when we spoke to them, which is baffling. But then, of course, he did take him up, didn't he? Let's have a look. Continue with our A to Z then. If you've just joined us, what we've been doing for the last 13 weeks is placing a player from Birmingham City history into the A to Z. One player for each letter of the alphabet, or, of course, one event as well. N is your challenge this week, Jason, again on your own. Is this a tricky one?
Tricky one off the top of my head. Why I've got to make sure I do my research after last week's plan. Immediately, Phil Neumann comes to my head, but obviously that's because he's playing. And when I thought back a few more years, I had Mehdi Nafti in my head. Yeah. But I was clutching at straws. I really, even like the suggested names in my research, I was like, yeah, they did nothing for us. N was not very good enough for the Blues, unless someone got a better crack at it than me. But yeah.
Come on, then. Come on, you older generation. Help us out here in the comments. We need an N, please. We've got your M's as well to read out next week as well. So we'll do that when we've got Paul back with us as well. Next week is a tough one. It's the letter O. So to help Jason out with this, we're going to allow him next week to put overhead kicks in for O. Can you think of a Blues goal that's been scored by a bicycle kick? We want the name of the player, the goal, where it was, and then that will get Jason off the hook next week if he can't think of a we can't think of a player beginning with O. Or you can have offside decision. There's an offside goal that 4 against the Blues, which has changed the destiny of a Blues season. Let us know, and that we'll discuss the O's next week. Then Leicester in turmoil, Jason. This weekend. Is that a good thing or a bad thing that they are just completely rudderless? Do you think?
I'd rather have him stayed in for a little bit longer. It's typical that the managers get sacked just before they play Blues. It always seems to happen, and they have like a manager bounce. I sound like a typical footballer doing an interview. We've just got to do our job. Turn up, right, St Andrews.
There it is.
Do our job, beat them, and thankfully, it looks like Jordan James is injured. So he's banging form, isn't he?
Right, keep Vitomu quiet, and I think you keep Leicester quiet, don't you, as well? Right, we'll be reviewing that game, of course. Then here next week we'll have Paul, hopefully, and Adam back with us as well, and we're on to O in our A to Z. Join us for that. Don't forget to drop us a sub and a like before you head off as well. Thank you very much for joining us on the shortest Birmingham City Blues podcast you can find on the internet. Great to have you with us this week. See you next week.